Over the past decade plus that I've been working with makers who want to take their handmade hobby and turn it into a thriving and profitable business, I have seen some commonalities amongst the people like this. They have a passion, they have a craft that they love, they have drive to succeed, they want to make real money out of this thing that they make. Now, that being said, there are people who succeed and there are people who just never seem to break through and actually make progress. These are the people who dream the dream, but never seem to be able to turn the dream into reality. I've noticed some common threads that run through the experiences of these people. Sure, there are always external factors that are going to get in the way of us realizing this dream of having a successful handmade business. However, most of the time when people don't succeed, it's generally because they're sabotaging themselves in some way and they might not even realize that they're doing it. These are the people who are actually getting in their own way, getting too caught up in their head, and they never make progress because there's a whole bunch of things that are holding them back from making that forward step. Today, I want to discuss 5 ways that you might be sabotaging yourself if you are one of these people. And the reason I want to cover this is because realizing that you're doing this is the first step in overcoming it and actually moving towards your dream. Before we move on, if one of the things that holds you back is lack of knowledge and just not knowing where to start with this process, then my Setup Shop course might help you. I'm going to be running it again in September, and I'm actually going to be doubling the price of this course next year. So this is the final time that you will be able to get access at the current price. It's a 30-day flagship course, and I'll teach you a system that'll help you set up an online shop on Etsy or elsewhere. So I'll tell you more about that at the end of the video. For now, let's get into these 5 ways that you might be self-sabotaging your own success. The first thing I see people doing is giving up too soon. If you want to start a business, do not think it's going to be successful in 3 months or 6 months or even a year. If you're starting a business, you need to think of it like a business and you need to be in it for the long haul because it takes time. You have to be patient. As I always say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Yes, of course it's possible to start a business and see sales and success from the early days, but that's actually pretty rare, especially if you're just doing an online business. You know, if you have an offline business, you've got a shop front. People see it. They're going to walk past. They're going to come in and check it out. When you have an online business, especially something like an Etsy shop, no one is going to see it for like the first 30 days because there's no way for them to accidentally come across it, right? It takes time for your listings to filter through search. It takes time for you to start throwing traffic towards your business. So patience is the watchword here, and people just give up too soon. They really do. I've seen so many people who open an Etsy shop or a website, they chuck in like 10 products that have terrible photos, the price point's all wrong, the description's no good, the branding is awful. By the way, these are all mistakes we all make in the beginning, so that's normal, but you can evolve and you should. And then 2 weeks later, they're in a Facebook group going, why am I not making any sales? Why is my business not working? Okay, because you're a baby, you're just starting out, you don't know what you're doing, and that's okay because that's where we all start. But you have to be patient and you have to commit to the long haul because there's so much you need to learn in order to make this business successful. You know, you're competing against people who've been in the game for possibly decades, and you need to up your game to get to their level in order to succeed. This shouldn't be something that discourages you. It should be inspiring. You should look at those people and go, I want to be like that one day. You know, like when we're kids and we see someone achieving the things that we want to achieve, we look up to them. We see them as a role model. We see them as an example of what we could possibly do. So look to those people, be inspired by them, and realize it took them a long time to get to that point. They didn't just, emerge like Athena from Zeus's brain, fully formed, okay? They had to do all of this stuff that you're doing right now. You're just seeing the end product where they've achieved success. So long story short, if you're not willing to put in time, patience, and dedication, don't bother starting. The second mistake I see a lot of people who give up or who don't succeed making is focusing on the negative. Now, this is a very human trait, okay? We evolved to focus on problems so that we could solve them and stay alive, all right? But Unfortunately, in our modern time, we are beset consistently by problems and stress and drama. But if you focus on the negative, that's all you're going to see, and that's going to discourage you. Of course, there's always going to be actual problems that you encounter, and finding people to help you with that is great. But don't focus on the things you can't control. There's this great idea in Stoic philosophy where they talk about the circle of control. It's very small. It's the things you actually have control over in your life. If you spend way too much time in the circle of concern, which are things you're concerned about but you don't actually have a lot of impact over, then you're going to be wasting a lot of your energy. If you catch yourself doing this, you need to stop. And you need to remember something very important. Nobody is responsible for the success or failure of your business than you. You are responsible for your business, full stop. Not Etsy, not any other venue. I see so many people getting so upset when Etsy makes a change. Yeah, some of them suck. Some of them are changes we don't like. But at the end of the day, Etsy is in it for Etsy. You are in it for you, and you have to do what is right for your business. Basically, you need to stop blaming, stop stressing over competitors, focus on you, focus on what you can do, what's in your power to achieve. If your venue makes a change you don't like, well, is it a change you're willing to live with or not? If it is, great. Go accept it and move on and focus on the things you can control. If it's not, accept it and move on somewhere else. Stop focusing on the sales you don't get and focus on the sales you do get, and making that experience for that customer so freaking amazing that they love you and want to come back and buy from you again and again and tell all their friends about you as well. And I know it's easier to say this. As I said before, our brains are wired to focus on the problems because it wants to solve it. Our brains are problem-solving machines. They want to solve problems. But you need to stop feeding it problems that aren't actually problems and spend time focusing on feeding it positive things, learning new things, experimenting with new things, trying new things that will hopefully improve your business. Focus on how you can grow your business in the right direction. See every problem as a challenge to overcome and learn from. All of us have problems, all of us have challenges, all of us make mistakes. But the difference is how you frame it. Do you see that as at the end of the world, or do you see it as a learning experience? I want you to work on the latter, seeing every mistake or problem as a learning experience, because if you make a mistake once, hopefully when you learn from it, you won't make the same mistake again. All right, so the third mistake I see people making that they're sabotaging themselves with is split focus. This may be very familiar. As a creative person, you're probably interested in a bunch of different things. And it's very tempting to start one thing and then start another thing and then start another thing. But you know what happens when you do that? Everything fails because you don't have enough time or energy to devote to any of them. And so you've split yourself across too many different avenues and nothing will actually work. You need to have focus on one thing and make it happen. Now, I'm totally guilty of this. Totally. I mean, I have 2 businesses, and in that time, I've also had a magazine, and I taught yoga for a while. And heck, I even have an ASMR channel on YouTube that I do for fun. I'm not planning on monetizing that. Jess, you don't have to monetize everything you do. This is a lesson I had to learn myself. All right. So I'm totally guilty of this split focus thing. In fact, there came a point a number of years ago where I had 2 businesses and I was talking to my husband, Nick, about running another business. He's like, Jess, no. If you're going to start something new, you have to let go of something else to make space and time and energy for it. And he was totally right. And I did let go of one of the things to start a new thing. So, that's the sort of thing you have to think about. How many times can I say thing in one paragraph? Apparently a lot. Stop splitting your focus and pick one thing, okay? And this is going to be hard. It's probably going to be really hard because there's so many things you could possibly sell, so many things you could possibly do. But if you want your shop to succeed, it needs to be branded, it needs to have a niche. In fact, it might even want to have a micro niche, and I've got a video about that you can check out. Okay, what is a micro niche? I'll tell you in the video. So basically, you need to decide on the thing and then put all your attention to that thing for a period of time before you start the next thing. I'm not saying you can't start the next thing. You absolutely can, but you need to give this thing time to grow before you move on to that. Imagine you plant a tree and then you water that tree for a month. And then you're like, ooh, there's another pretty tree. So you plant the next tree and you start watering that plant. But then you forget to water the first one. And then you plant a third one and you start watering that, but you forget about the first two. Or you water all of them, but you only have the same amount of water, right? Your amount of water is finite and you can only split it so many ways to keep things alive. Sure, you might be able to keep them sort of limping along and growing really slowly and sort of deformed because they're not actually getting enough water. But imagine if you gave all of that water to one tree, how beautiful, big, and quickly it might grow and bloom. Okay, that water is obviously, in case the metaphor was not obvious, that water is your energy and your time, okay? We all have a limit on the amount of time and energy we have. And if we try to split out ourselves too thin, then all of the things that we're trying to do will suffer. That being said, don't fall into number one, the trap of number one, which is the whole giving up too soon thing. So you need to be devoted for a period of time long enough to know whether this thing is going to be successful or not. The next thing is too much research and not enough action. Now, obviously, I'm here on YouTube talking to you and you're watching this right now and I'm teaching you. That is what I'm here for, right? I'm obviously not against learning. I'm not against research and finding out more. And I think that's amazing and the basis of all success. However, there comes a point where we're just researching because we don't want to commit, right? We're just like, I just need to learn a little bit more about this. I just need to make sure I know exactly how to do that. And this often comes out of a couple of things. One of them is perfectionism. Another one is a fear of failure. Okay. So we just keep hemming and hawing and taking courses and watching YouTube videos and reading blogs and listening to podcasts without ever actually starting. Nothing will work unless you actually work at it and make it happen. You need to move past the learning phase and move into the doing phase. Now, obviously that doesn't mean you let go of the learning phase, right? You can keep learning, but if you're devoting all of your time to learning until you're the master of something before you actually do it, then you're missing out on the most important learning of all, which is the learning by doing, because you will make mistakes and you will learn the best lessons from actually doing the thing. You will absolutely fail at numerous things. You'll make a mistake or 20 mistakes. You'll probably undercharge shipping at least once. Okay? These are all natural and normal things. Imagine if a baby, tried to walk once and then went, nope, can't do it. I'll just sit down now. All right? So we don't want to be that person. We want to keep learning. And the best way to learn is through doing. You need to step into that arena and start. The final one is very much linked to this, and it's waiting for perfection. You're waiting for the perfect circumstance. You're waiting for the perfect time. You're waiting for the perfect idea. You're waiting till you are perfect. Spoiler, we're never perfect. We never will be perfect, and there's no such thing as perfect. You're hanging back from moving forward because of fear of not being perfect. And if that is your fear, I'm here to tell you it will never be gone. You need to do it anyway. You can evolve. You can get better. You want to let your light shine. You want to put your thing out into the world. Yes, it's scary. I'm here on YouTube talking to you, right? It can be scary to put your stuff out into the world, put yourself out into the world when you're not perfect. But nobody's perfect. Nothing is perfect. You want to go for pretty damn awesome. I think that's a really good place to go. Or at least pretty good. Will get better. Pretty good, looking to improve. Okay, so your first products are probably not going to be your best products. Your first shop design is probably not going to be your best shop design. But get out there, push past the perfectionism and make it happen. Now, if you need any help with making it happen, do come and join me for Setup Shop. As I said, it's a 30-day course. And I give you a lesson every day. It's a system that is step-by-step sequential. Every lesson builds upon the last, and it will take you through all the steps you need to follow in order to set up a stellar online shop for your handmade goods. The class is starting in mid-September. I will put a link directly to it below at createandthrive.com/setup shop. As I said, the price is going up by a lot next year. And I offer lifetime membership to this course. So I run it twice a year live. And if you sign up now, you can join us again in the future. If this is not the perfect time to sign up right now, you can sign up and pay now and come and join us in, March or April next year when I run it again, or next September. So head on over to setupshop.com to find out more about that. And I would love to help you. I've taken something like 1,300 or 1,400 people through this course and taught them how to set up an online shop, either from scratch or overhauling the shop you already have, which is really common. A lot of my students are in that situation because things are just not moving the way they want them to be moving. So I would love it if you come and join me for Setup Shop. I'd love to help you through that process. Now, did any of what I talked about in today's video resonate with you? Did you recognize yourself? I mean, I've, taken this from my own experiences and from the experiences of my students over the years. These are common things that a lot of people go through. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on anything from today's video, and give it a thumbs up if you found it helpful. And of course, if you're new here, welcome, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my future videos on how to have a thriving and profitable handmade business and a happy and productive work from home lifestyle. Now, if you are still in the development stages of, opening your business, I've got a video for you right here. Should you start an online business? That might help you because it's going to ask you a whole bunch of questions to see if you're actually ready right now. So check that one out next. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.